What's up, guys? Divine here, and welcome to the beginning of 2021. Just sitting outside of spring training here right before opening day versus Oakland, and got a lot to talk about in this episode. The offseason was very eventful. Maybe not so much in free agency as I would have liked because we have so much money. But the good thing is we did save quite a bit of money for next year when Noah Syndergaard is there, so we're going to make a strong push for him, believe me, next year. And we did pick up two guys that I really feel like are going to push us to that upper echelon this year. I really wanted to compete this year. I had a vision for 2021 and beyond, and I feel like this team that we're going to field this year is going to be extremely competitive. I feel like we have a realistic chance to win this division and knock Houston off again. So let's get into it. This is what happened during the offseason. Chicago signs Justin Verlander away from the Houston Astros. He is coming off of that elbow injury, so there's a bit of a risk there as they do sign him to a $52 million deal over 2 years. But he's a Hall of Famer, so I'm sure he will pitch just fine for them. Kenley Jansen signs an extension with the Dodgers. And this is the huge deal that was made this offseason, the talk of the offseason. Aaron Nola, our new ace, former Philadelphia Philly ace. And the reason, you guys might be thinking that this isn't realistic, like Aaron Nola would never be dealt. And in most cases, I would agree, but I don't know if it'll show it anymore. But yeah, we can do it this way. The Phillies, the past 2 years, they haven't even challenged for the division. Where's history at? They haven't even challenged for the division, and as you guys can see, 2019 they were pretty decent, but they didn't win the division. I don't even think they made the playoffs, and then last year they were god awful. Fourth in the division. Last year they were third. So yeah, they were in a bit of a weird situation. I mean, they have JT who's signed to an extension. They have Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, so they have a lot of talent there, obviously, but they weren't putting it together. Their bullpen was just really, really bad, like the worst in the league. And they weren't a complete team, so I'll show you guys, but they got some really good prospects out of this, so it wasn't like I just got Aaron Nola just because they were a bad team. Like I gave them Randy Florentino, a decent hitting, catching prospect. He's not very good defensively, and he's not very athletic. He has some pop, and he's very young. He's pretty raw still, so we also gave them Hans Kraus, a guy that I like very much so in real life. But when I started this series, I told myself that I wasn't going to let how I feel about someone in real life dictate what I do or sway my decision in any way. I was going to play this very straightforward and put a lot of thought into each move that I make. I try to be strategic with it, and I feel like Hans, especially in this game and in real life as well, if he turns out to be a bullpen piece like this, bullpen pieces are easy. I'm not gonna say easy, but they're pretty easy to find. Bullpen and outfield are the two positions that you can kind of be a little lenient with. They're pretty easy to find, but yeah, I mean, last year he wasn't very good in high A ball. He did start quite a few games because I kind of wanted to see where he was at as a bullpen piece and as a starter. And as a starter, he wasn't very good at all. So they get a really nice bullpen piece who I feel like will join the Phillies bullpen this year. So yeah, hopefully that he answers their need there. And obviously we give up the huge prospect, one of my best signings ever, Suzuki Miyamoto. Just overall an extremely, extremely good player, and he will be very, very good for them, at least over the next 5 years. In his rookie year, he led the league in stolen bases, hit 277 with 366, and it looks like he got much better over the offseason. So they're going to play him at his native position, shortstop, which will be good for him. You know, maybe that's why he improved so much. So I feel like he'll be very, very good for them. So it's basically Aaron Nola for an alright catching prospect, a decent bullpen piece, and then one of the best prospects in the game right now. Not really a prospect anymore, but last year he was a top 5 prospect in the league. So it's not like we didn't get Aaron Nola for much, but that contract is very enticing. We have at least 3 more years of control. His past 3 years have been Cy Young worthy. He is a workhorse by definition. Just exactly what we were looking for. So I fuck with that deal a lot. And then here's an underrated deal, I think. You know, Jake Junis. You look at his ratings, he's not spectacular in any category. Probably, you know, throwing strikes is his best trait. But last year he had a very, very good year, and then the year got derailed by injuries. In 2019 he wasn't as good, but in 2018 he was good as well. What he's going to do is just going to throw a lot of innings if healthy. He's going to, you know, challenge hitters in. He's going to get ground balls, get double plays. We're very good at turning double plays, so I feel like he'll be good here. We just need somebody to eat innings and pitch effectively and pitch efficiently, throw strikes. So that's what he'll do. He'll come in and do that. It says Junis should have success at the back end of the rotation. I agree with that, but he will be our 2 starter for now, and we do trade him for Nick Solak, the guy that we got in the Asdrubal Cabrera deal the first year from the Rays, I believe. Yeah, the Rays. For us, he was never really anything more than like a really good AAA player. So at least he'll get a chance to play in the majors for a very struggling Kansas City Royal team. So they were very, very thin in middle infield, and then they actually had a surplus of pitching. And he's a guy that only has 3 years left of arbitration, and they're definitely not going to compete in 3 years. So that deal makes a lot of sense. This guy is a guy that we targeted, if you guys remember, but we did not sign him, as I just didn't want to pay $40 million for him. I was actually going to pay like close to 50. So yeah, I mean, especially with Noah Syndergaard coming up next year, I mean, we would have the money for both of them, but I don't want to like even be close financially, budget wise. Like, I want to have room to make moves if need be. I don't want to, you know, put myself in a bind there. So we decided not to sign him, and I think it was a good decision, as we do have a very, very strong bullpen without him, as you guys will see. We do sign Joe Musgrove and Matt Boyd, you know, 2 guys that slot right in the rotation. Last year he was pretty bad with Pittsburgh. The year before he was better. I mean, he threw a lot of innings. He's not really an innings eater anymore, but like I said, he's a guy that will come in and throw strikes, and that's something that we have missed for the past 3 years. Matt Boyd is a guy that has a little bit better stuff than Musgrove. He will strike more people out, as you guys can see, but he will also walk people. Last year he only threw 45 or 45 innings, so it's not, you know, that big of a sample size, but he did walk the most in his career so far, at 4 walks per 9. So, you know, hopefully he keeps that number down. Ryan Braun leaves the Milwaukee Brewers for the first time in his career after a pretty good season in 2020. He goes to Cleveland for $24.2 million. This guy was an international guy. He goes to Milwaukee. So he's a switch hitter, 26 years old, almost 27. He looks very, very good. So he'll probably be very good for them. The Astros signed 3 relievers. Tony Watson, 35 years old. He still looks very effective. Last year he wasn't with the Oakland A's. The year prior he was decent with San Francisco, but yeah. Jake Diekman, we all know what he can do. Last year he was very good with Cleveland. The year prior he was very, very good with Kansas City. So it's good to see him pitching good. How they actually have his nickname is Get It Out. That's cool. Yeah. They also signed Tony Sangrani. Last year he pitched very, very well with the Nationals. The year prior, he pitched decent for the Dodgers. So they had 3 decent, but nothing spectacular in the bullpen. Michael Brantley signs a pretty large deal with the Giants. He is almost 34, and he signs for $92 million over 5 years. So that's a bit of a risky deal in my opinion, but hey, he did have a very good year with Houston last year. And we all know what Michael Brantley can do if he's healthy. Kevin Gossman goes to the Astros as well. He looks like a decent piece, but I wasn't going to pay him close to $20 million. You know what I mean? Like, no thank you. But maybe he'll be good for them. Nobody gets inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. Dallas Keuchel gets a huge deal. This is a bit of a head scratcher as well, because if you guys remember last year during the offseason, it took a while for him to sign. He ended up signing with the Yankees, and he did not pitch very well. Although it is a hitter's ballpark, but he definitely didn't earn $85 million over 5 years. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the Nationals are doing there, but they do have money to play with. The Yankees signed Jose Quintana to a close to $100 million over 5-year deal. Does have that $52K bonus up for an All-Star, so good for him. Charlie Morton, this was the guy on our board that we were potentially looking to sign, but he was looking for a multi-year deal, and we weren't going to pay him $20 million over 2 years. So you guys can have him. Washington, Atlanta signs Freddie Freeman, or rather extends him, and makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's a lot of money for a first baseman, but with baseball, you know, going further and further, and money becoming less and less important, I guess. He's extremely good defensively. He's a Gold Glover out there at first base, and obviously we all know what he can do at the plate. Last year he had a bit of a down season, and it was still a 5-win season. So, I mean, that just goes to show what Freddie Freeman can do. So, not a bad deal for them. Anthony Rizzo signs with the Boston Red Sox. The past 2 years he hasn't been the Anthony Rizzo that we all know, especially last year. He was only a 1.3 win player. The average was down to 225, and the OBP was down as well. OPS was close to 700. I mean, just not a very good year for a very good player in Anthony Rizzo. And here's the top 100 prospects. Your top prospect in baseball is Bob Doe. He was picked first overall last year by the Baltimore Orioles. He looks more like a bullpen piece than anything, so I'm not too jealous there. This was a guy that we had a chance to sign in international free agency. Royce Lewis is still there. Surprised he hasn't got called up. Anybody else that I know. And we'll go ahead and look at our prospects. As you guys can see, we have a ton of money, and that's good because next offseason we get Thor, hopefully. This says that we have the 24th out of 30th overall minor league system, but don't believe that because that is only OSA ratings. But the head scout is obviously more realistic to how they're going to be. So Esteban Espinoza is our number 1 prospect in our system. Signed last year. The kid looks like he's going to be like one of the best hitters in the league if he can develop. So that's good. But, you know, there's a question to where he can fit in. I mean, he's not athletic at all. Can't really play good defense yet. But he's 6'5", 200 pounds. 17 years old. I mean, he's just a mammoth of a kid out there. The arm is just elite already, almost capped out at 80. OSA thinks he is an 80, so once Nomar goes, I think this kid's going to slot right in nicely in right field. Maybe put Bubba over there in left field. I don't know. But we're definitely going to have to make room for this kid because he does look like he is the real deal. Espinosa has the dynamic tools needed to make an impact in the majors. So, yeah, excited about that kid. Then we got Cole Winn, the man, the myth, the legend, Cole Winn. Doesn't look like at this point he's going to develop that fourth pitch, but the fastball is elite, and it's already major league average, and he's only 21 years old in high A ball, so he's developing very nicely. Just need that curveball to develop. The slider is already major league average as well, and it looks like he is throwing strikes, being efficient. Last year he was efficient, only 2 walks per 9, so Cole Winn looks like he's going to be that dude. Sergio Orozco is another guy that I'm extremely excited about. He is an outfield prospect, but he's very young, so there will be a spot for him whenever he decides to come up. And this is what I'm talking about. Our scout thinks that like he's Bubba Thompson level, and then OSA thinks that he's like, I don't know, like Randall Grichuk level or something. I don't know who that would be, but yeah, you guys can see the difference. So excited about him. Cole Wilcox, our draft pick last year out of Georgia. He looks like he's gonna be, at least a 4, maybe 5 starter, depending on how he develops. But the slider looks like it's gonna be elite. Hopefully he can develop that changeup and have that fourth pitch, because he really doesn't have another pitch to fall back on. I mean, he tops out at like 95, and major league hitters are gonna crush 95 in 2021. So hopefully he can develop that changeup. Owen White looks like he's not really gonna develop. I mean, the stuff is fantastic, but that control is just really, really bad. So unfortunate there. I mean, maybe he can surprise me, but Jack Leiter is another guy that doesn't look like he's going to be quite as good. Last year in low A ball, he threw 19 innings, so it's not that big of a deal, but he had an 8.05 ERA. In 2019, he had an 8.46, so I mean, he's never really thrown a lot of innings, so I will give him that. But I don't know, man. He just doesn't look like he's going to develop. He's definitely not going to develop that fourth pitch. So, at best, he's a spot starter. I don't know. I kind of blew this pick. Not going to lie. Jonathan Hernandez is a guy that has improved a lot. He pitched pretty well in spring. So, potentially he's a guy that gets that call up. With an injury or two, he'll definitely be in the rotation. He looks like he has very, very good stuff, and the control is about what you would want it to be. Last year, when he came up in the majors, he had a 4.2 walks per 9, and that's not very good, especially from a starter. But it looks like over the offseason he has gotten better control-wise. And Anderson Tejada is another guy that I'm interested in. This spring, we gave him ample amount of opportunity because we did trade away our third baseman for Aaron Nola. So we were potentially looking at, is Tejada the third baseman this year, or is what's his face? Abanya's third baseman, but Abanya's won the third baseman spot. I mean, he almost hit 300 in spring, and last year he hit 319 in close to 400 plate appearances. So it will be Andy Ibanez, but we will keep a close eye on Tejada as he starts the year with the club, but he will be, a depth piece. Jonathan Ornelas is another guy that is very good. Almost 21 years old. Last year hit pretty well in low A ball and small sample size. And rookie ball, he just absolutely killed it. So he will be in A ball to begin the year. A guy that is another middle infield prospect for us. So hopefully he keeps playing well. And Jason Hodges, I did miss on Jack Leiter, but a guy that is looking more and more like I didn't miss on is Jason Hodges. Big right-handed bat. Last year hit extremely well in rookie ball. The year prior he didn't tear it up or anything, so we gave him another chance to see what he could do in rookie ball. And I mean, in 200 plate appearances, he hit 13 bombs, had 43 ribbies, hit 319 with a 365 OBP and close to 1,000 OPS. He was extremely good, so he gets the call up to A ball. We'll see what he can do. Hopefully he can keep developing. So excited about Jason Hodges. Leody Taveras got the call up to spring training this year, and again he struggled. Man, it's really unfortunate. Last year he did play very well in AA, so that's a good sign. But hopefully he can play well in AAA this year and maybe be that fourth outfielder going forward in September. I don't know. I like Leody a lot. Hopefully he can earn that spot in the majors. Mason Auer is another name that I like. Got him in the 20th round. And extremely good defensively, extremely athletic. The only question really is the bat, and he looks, above major league average at the plate as well. So probably going to turn out to be another top outfield prospect in our system. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Can't really talk about anything else. Just the main things were we got Aaron Nola, Jake Junis, Boyd, and Musgrove. So 4 new faces in the rotation, thank goodness. I do expect to compete this year, but if we just miss out, I won't be surprised. But next year is hopefully, especially if we get Noah Syndergaard, is when we'll begin seriously competing in this thing. So hopefully we make the playoffs this year, get these young guys some experience in the playoffs, and then we can move forward. I didn't go over the bullpen, sorry. Same closer. You guys know he's amazing. Keone Kela, you guys know what he can do, especially if you're Ranger fans. Jose Leclerc, absolutely nasty. Made strides to improve his control this offseason. So hopefully that pays dividends for him. He won't be the closer this year, though. David Robertson is another signing. So boom, 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 boom. Who's better than that? Who has 4 arms to just throw out there like that? So our bullpen is going to be nasty this year. DeMarcus Evans, I'm sure you guys know who he is. Pitched well in spring training. Hopefully those walks per 9 won't be too terrible, but that stuff is just too much to look over. Chris Martin, a guy that doesn't have amazing stuff, but he's pitched well for us. 2019 he was amazing. 2020 he was still really good. He threw almost 90 innings, so his usage was up, and he was still pretty good. So he'll begin the year with the club. And Matt Strahm last year was a starter, unfortunately, because due to injuries and stuff to Mike Minor. This year we'll begin the year in the bullpen where he belongs. Last year when he switched to the bullpen when Mike came back, he was extremely effective. So man, this bullpen's going to be dirty. But thank you guys for watching. We'll check back in after the first year player draft. And just hopefully we at least make the wild card this year. I think that we have the team to do it. The offense is going to be elite. The offense has been pretty much elite every year. but I feel like we're going to be even better. We do lose our third baseman, but still, Bubba Thompson's going to be much, much better. And JPM is going to be very, very good. So I'm excited. We finally got that frontline starter. Things are looking up, and like I said, hopefully we get these young guys playoff experience. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series as much as I am. Please leave a like and leave a comment if you guys have any suggestions or comments. And thank you guys for watching. Like I said, peace.